Are you ready to challenge yourself and think bigger? I'm your host, Marianne Marchesi, and together we'll hear the unfiltered, unscripted stories of those who've taken big risks and transformed their bold ideas into reality. Season 2 is brought to you by multi-award-winning law firm Legalite, where bold ideas thrive. Mia Klitsas is the founder of Moxie, the period care brand that entered a crowded market, then went and disrupted it. Mia founded Moxie in 2005 at just 22 years of age. Within a year, Moxie was stocked in Woolworths stores around the country, instantly recognised for its striped tampon tins, then going on to become an international brand known for its constant innovations and voice for progress. Now celebrating 20 years in business, Mia has gone from self-funded, bootstrapped success to a multi-award-winning entrepreneur who's seen it all. 2 decades in a disruptive business will do that to you. And I'm so excited to be chatting to you, Mia. Welcome.
Thank you.
You started Moxie when you were just 22 years old. I know what I was doing when I was 22 and it was not that. Tell me, what was the spark for Moxie?
I was interning actually in a marketing role. So I was still studying at uni when the idea sparked, and I was interning in marketing at the same time in a big corporate. And I actually hated it. I really struggled in big corporate. Yeah. I learned pretty quickly that it wasn't going to be for me, but I had to complete this internship as part of my studies. And so I thought, Mia, just stick it out. You're here to do a job, quite literally. Yeah. And look, the experience was amazing. But there was always something in the back of my mind kind of just like niggling at me thinking, there's going to be something else. I don't know what it is yet, but there's something else. And so I think that thought was always there. And so when the idea for Moxie sparked, I kind of wasn't shocked by it. Essentially, it was a pain point that just sort of came out of nowhere one day. Out of nowhere, but not out of nowhere. Yeah. I was actually working at the time during my internship on packaging innovation and product design. And yeah, the idea just came from a personal pain point of tampons rolling around in my handbag. Yeah. And it was one of those like spur of the moment things that I feel like particularly as women we often experience like with a lot of the products that we use. And yeah, I just had this off the cuff, moment of, oh my gosh, that's really annoying. And no one's done anything about it. And I think because I was working on packaging design at the time, it was very top of mind. Yeah. And yeah, I just thought no one's done anything in this category, in this space, in a very inherently female category. I felt like products and even advertising and the whole experience was really not sympathetic to a woman's experience.
Not at all.
And so it started with a product pain point of tampons rolling around in my bag, and thought they need to come better packaged for a start. Yeah. And so the idea was to put them in little recyclable, refillable tins so they wouldn't roll around. But then beyond that, it was just kind of about creating a real experience and down to the messaging and the conversations that we were having. And I feel like no one was kind of doing it at the time. It was the time of ads with blue liquids on pads and women running on the beach in white pants.
Oh my gosh, I remember those blue liquid. Oh,
crazy. Yeah. So that's really sort of how it sparked. And, at 22, you're just like dog with a bone. It's like
totally.
I will not be told.
Oyster.
World was my oyster. I had very few responsibilities, and I thought I'm just going to give it a go. And I mean, 20-something years later, like next minute, well, here I am.
That's incredible. And it's incredible that you started it at a time where we didn't really talk about periods at all. I mean, even now, it's gotten a lot better. But I remember that time and, you used to hide your tampon or your pad up your sleeve, and it was not spoken about.
It was the sleeve, the tampon up the sleeve. And I worked in quite a male-dominated environment at the time. And so I was forever hiding my tampons up my sleeve to do the long walk to the bathroom, down the corridors. And even that was a moment of like, why am I doing this? Why am I ashamed of this? Everyone here knows I have my period. Most of the women here have their periods. why are we hiding it?
Yeah, exactly. Why are we hiding it?
It's kind of ridiculous. We're all here because a woman had her period.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the reality.
That's so
and
true.
even that moment was just, or those moments were kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yet they were still shameful.
Mm.
And I just felt that needed to change.
Which makes it so much more than a packaging
Absolutely.
idea. You know, it was really bold to put tampons in a tin. I mean, we look at it now and that's so normal and accepted, but you've been such a big part in actually changing that, which is really cool.
Thank you.
No, of course.
It feels cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
In hindsight, at the time, it was just
You're like, God, she had some, you know, ovaries, I like to say.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, exactly.
What challenges, though, did you have starting a business in your 20s?
Oh, so many. I mean, one of the biggest ones was just being young, naive, and A, not knowing a lot, but B, I guess what comes with the territory is not being taken very seriously at the time. I feel like things have changed, which is amazing because I think that there are so many incredible young entrepreneurs, and in Australia in particular, we foster a real culture of entrepreneurship and we encourage that, which is fantastic. They're in our courses for entrepreneurship, and that didn't really exist when I was starting out. And so, yeah, I think a lot of people just thought that I was silly and should just stay in my job and on my career trajectory and just do what I was doing. Stability was favoured. And so going out and starting a business in a very mature category, going up against huge multinational players was nuts. And yeah, if I think about it, yeah, it kind of was nuts.
Yeah.
And it still is nuts because it's still the same landscape. But I saw a gap and I saw an opportunity. And so I just thought that I didn't have a lot to lose. But that, you know, being a small fish in a big pond is really challenging.
Yeah.
Because people not only don't necessarily take you seriously, but you also just don't have the tools and the resources to compete head on with a lot of these enormous multinationals that you're going up against. So I had to learn to do things differently and think about how I was going to compete and be taken seriously by everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah.
I mean,
literally
it's the
everyone.
age, it's the industry,
Yeah.
it's that you're a female.
That was a huge one too.
Yes.
I was literally just a young woman with an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't have that confidence at that stage, you know, being both an early stage business but also being young. You don't have that confidence that you would probably have in business now. Like I know that took me at least 8 years to build my confidence in business because you have to go through some shit first.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you didn't have that, but you kept going.
I think because I did get thrown around a lot. And it's funny because I think a lot of my competitors thought that they would scare me off.
Yeah.
But if anything, they helped me build resilience.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It could go one of two ways.
Yeah.
It could scare a lot of people off.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be like, far out, these are like big corporates.
Oh, yeah.
You know, similar in my industry, the legal industry. When I started Legalite, now coming up to almost a decade ago, it was pretty much just top tier and big firms that I was competing with. And it was like, who do you think you are as a then 32-year-old starting a law firm and competing for like these big names? And now there's a lot more kind of variety in that space as with in your industry too. Yeah. But back then you really do need to have some audacity behind you to stick with an idea that you obviously very much believed in.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about the success that you had really early on. Like within a year you were stocked in Woolworths. That's huge. How did that come about?
Yeah, they were actually our first retailer.
Wow.
So from essentially like meeting to being on the shelf, it was like 6 months, which is also hectic. Even when I talk about that now, when people ask about that and they ask about ranging, that's actually very fast.
Yeah.
Range review processes are quite lengthy. It was kind of like right place, right time, right product, right offer. Everything really aligned, like sun, stars, moon, everything. I've really, really thanked my lucky stars for that. That was very much like the big break. But yeah, it kind of was a bit of a process. I had called some other retailers prior to that and I got hard no's. So I got knocked back a few times and ended up then calling Woolworths. I learned that there were range review schedules, which for those listening who aren't familiar, are categories in grocery and pharmacy are reviewed at certain times of the year. So you can't just generally you kind of can't go in and just pitch your products
At
any
any
time.
time.
You have to go at a set time of year. And so I learned that that was a thing. And when I happened to call Woolworths, they said, actually, we're reviewing quite soon.
Wow.
Call back in I can't remember, it was call back in 2 weeks or something. So I did, and I managed to secure a meeting. So I did and met with the buyer, and the buyer was a man. And I thought quite, immediately I was sort of off guard a little because I thought he's not going to understand this pain point, this personal experience of tampons rolling around in your bag. He's not going to get it. Yeah. But he did. He immediately, he obviously really understood his category. And even though he didn't menstruate, but he said, this is genius. I've never seen anything like this before. He's like, tampons in tins. Oh my gosh. It's so good. And bless him. He just loved it. Oh my gosh. And he agreed to take it immediately. And he said, when can I have it? I want to arrange it. When can I have it? And I said, well, just on that. There's actually a container of stock on the water. So I had already ordered a full container worth of stock, three different sizes of product. So 3 variants, we call them in our category. Just tampons in tins. That was the only product we started with. We didn't have pads or anything else at the time. I couldn't really afford to do a range. So we just started with tampons in tins. And I said, I've ordered a container of stock. I really back this.
Oh my gosh.
And he said, that's amazing. We'll take it. And so I think that's also what helped accelerate that ranging process. It showed him that I did really back it. Yeah. And it was rapid fire from then on, and we were on the shelf within 6 months.
Yeah, wow.
It's kind of crazy. When I think back now, it's oh my gosh. Yeah. And then all the realness, the reality of business, cash flow, reordering set in, and I was like, what have I done?
Yeah, you're now it's getting complicated. I'm in the thick of it. Now it's not as easy as calling up and asking for an opportunity with stock on the way. Now it's lots of moving
Then
parts.
I was like, oh, okay, now I need an accountant. Things are getting very real.
Very real.
Very real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like the stars just aligned and you really did back yourself.
Yeah.
You believed so much in this idea. And I often find when I'm speaking to people that are disrupting their industries or have a bold idea, that's self-belief. It's those people that we need to bring those ideas to life.
Do you know what's strange about it though? And it's an interesting one because it was over 2 decades ago now. Yeah. But if I put myself in my shoes then, I obviously did believe in myself. Otherwise I wouldn't have done what I did. Yeah. But I think I didn't overthink it.
Yeah.
And I think that was actually a big part of it. And I don't know whether it partly came with age, the age that I was. I was young, I was a go-getter. As you get older, obviously, perhaps you become more risk averse because you understand more about risk. Whereas then I hadn't experienced enough risk to really understand the stakes.
Totally.
So I think that sort of was part of it. But I was just like, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so.
Which is so naive but so needed when you're starting a business.
Yeah.
I'm a really big believer in you need that naivety
Agreed.
To start a business.
And so
you need
now,
to believe in it, but you need that naivety.
And so I think when people ask me now, and perhaps more mature founders or people at different stages of life with different responsibilities even, when people ask me that now, I say put yourself in the shoes of your younger self and think about yourself at 18, 19, whether you were finishing school or I feel like that's kind of a pivotal age for when people are making different life decisions. Yeah. Or think about a time when you were making a pivotal life decision and put yourself in that frame of mind. Because I feel like you're generally kind of just more open rather than being like, oh, but hang on, I've got all this stuff and I've got all these things. And I'm not saying just put all that
Ignore
aside
it.
because we still have realities and pressures and,
Yeah.
whether that be families, mortgages, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just helps to compartmentalize a little bit and just say, all of that aside, just for a minute, if I didn't have certain restrictions, what would I do? And then you can start to add those layers rather than just restricting yourself from the get-go. Because I feel like it can limit our thinking.
Totally.
And also
limits
our
your thinking.
belief.
Yes. Yes. As you were saying it, I was like imagining myself as an 18-year-old and there's just, it automatically puts you in this more optimistic mindset.
And I do that now, even for myself.
I love that.
I put myself in and I call it my curious self. I remember being 18 and just being so excited and curious about the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I do that now. I'm just like, oh, what's next? How exciting.
I love that.
Like, how exciting. I can do whatever I want.
Feel like, as you said, you touched on, like when we were younger, we were almost our truest self.
Yeah.
Before we'd experienced, all the layers and all the, shit in your life that then introduces things like anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. Like
so
real life stress,
that,
responsibility.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really cool strategy to do that. We've spoken about the tins and you were originally known for the tins. I still have one rolling around in one of my cupboards.
I love that.
That's so cool.
They last literally forever.
Forever. Yeah, totally. It's like vintage now.
Yeah,
so I feel pretty cool about that.
They actually are. I think something becomes vintage after 20 years. So they technically are vintage.
It's technically vintage now. Yeah. Should see how much I could get for it on eBay.
Oh my God, we should do that for a laugh.
We should totally.
Well, they're trending on TikTok. Like someone posted like a peak Aussie nostalgia of the 2000s. Oh. Someone posted a video and it went viral because we were getting all these hits about our tins and like the younger gen saying, you need to bring back the tins.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's going on? And someone posted a video that went viral. It was like,
that's so funny.
Peak 2000s nostalgia was if you had a Moxie tin in your country road or your Supro bag. And I was like, oh my gosh.
You were one of the cool girls
I was like, oh my gosh. But we didn't even know it. There was like no social media then. So we didn't even kind of know.
Of course.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
I know.
Oh wow. Well, maybe bring back like a limited edition.
They will be back. They will definitely be back.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm really pumped. They will be back.
So exciting.
Yeah.
So it obviously evolved from then into what is your slogan, progressive period care. Yeah. Tell me a bit about that evolution and then expanding into different offerings.
Yeah. I mean, progress to us means not being stagnant and always moving because I think we can always be better. We're not just one thing. And yes, we started off as being known for our tampons in tins. And I think even then we didn't even realize, I guess, the sort of conscious impact of that. And I think perhaps the market wasn't even ready at the time, in our space at least. Most offerings were still wrapped in plastic, in outer plastics or plastic bags. And like no one was, we never used outer plastic wraps ever. We've never used shrink wraps or anything like that. And so the idea of the tin and refill already was quite a new concept. And I'm not sure people were quite ready for it because that mentality it just wasn't sort of broadly accepted yet. Obviously, as things, again, progress, we become more accepting of these ideas.
Yeah.
And so I think you just have to move and listen and constantly be iterating and listen to the consumer, because I think as a brand, as a business, you can often put out things that your consumer may not necessarily want.
Yeah.
You always need to be listening. And so, for us, progress doesn't necessarily just mean by way of product, which is certainly important. And I will touch on that in a moment again, but also progressive conversations. So thinking about how we talk about periods and menstruation and progressing that conversation. And we do that a lot through our social channels. Our TikTok has just absolutely just blown up, which has astounded us. Like
that's what,
beyond
like
belief.
1 million followers.
1.4 million followers, totally organic. Like have never advertised or done any sort of, anything like that. It's just, we're just having really open and honest convos. And I guess it just goes to show that people are now willing to have these convos, which when we started, they weren't. And that's okay. It's taken us some time to progress those conversations. And so I think patience is important too, and just moving with your audience, meeting them where they're at, but also pushing the boundaries a little bit, because I think you need to. I think in order to be disruptive, you have to push.
Yeah.
And
because
so
you're not just part of the conversation, you're leading that conversation.
You have to lead it.
So it is important to push.
That's right. I think you have to. So I think there's sort of a balance of meeting people where they're at, but also pushing.
Yeah.
I think you have to push to be progressive.
Yeah.
And so in terms of, product, we have sort of moved on from the tins in a way. They will be back, but we retired them temporarily because people collected too many tins.
Yeah.
So as much as we love the tins, again, it was important to listen to our audience when they told us, we've got too many now. Like you just said, I've still got mine from 20 years ago because they last. So there's no point us just putting out more stuff just because we want to. So we said, okay, how can we progress this? How can we be more progressive? So we've actually moved towards completely recyclable paper wrapping. So we wrap our tampons and our pads in recyclable paper.
Yeah.
And those products still fit in the original tins. So people that still have their tins can still use their tins. Looks like we will be bringing the tins back in a limited edition because for those that don't have tins, really want them.
Love that.
But that will sort of, be a limited run. That won't be a forever thing.
Yeah.
But we're moving more towards now sort of zero waste, less waste. We've introduced reusable period cups. So we're thinking more about the materials we're using. Our cups are made using a zero waste process. So we injection mold them. So there's no waste in that process. So, but tomorrow there might be an even better process.
Yeah.
Today it's one thing, we're using organic cotton on our tampons. Tomorrow it might be something else. I don't know what that is yet, which is why we say we're progressive. Progressive, not perfect, which I know is a bit of a cliche, but
no, I think
that's important because we don't know what we don't know yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
everything is evolving at such a rapid pace, and to stay ahead of that curve and, just to act on it when you do notice that we could do this a better way or the market needs something different.
Yeah.
You're really, progressive but reactive in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
just
that's really awesome.
Keeping our eyes open and just being open, I think is just is important.
In addition to being your host, I'm also the founder of Legalite. If you're looking for a law firm that can work with your bold ideas, not against them, you can join the movement for better legals at www.legalite.com.au or follow us on Instagram at legalite_au. And how has being a woman yourself and being in this business for 20 years, at what point do you kind of listen to your own lived experience and to how that translates into your business versus responding to customer needs? Like, how do you put that founder hat and customer hat on and off? Because you are the customer as well.
Yeah. I feel like honestly, everything that we create stems from personal experience, and whether that's my own or that of our community or my friends. Okay. But it's all lived experience. We don't make stuff because we just think it's
a good
needed.
Idea.
No.
Yeah.
It's all based off lived experience.
Which
everything that we make is lived experience.
It's a female-owned led company. You can see that in the products
and
that
I think that's actually kind of what makes it unique. I mean, as far as I'm aware, we're the only female founded, owned and led brand currently on the shelf in the major retailers that we're in, which are is one of the major grocery chains and one of the major pharmacy chains.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Which is wild.
That is wild.
Considering that, again, it's an inherently female category.
I've got very strong views about that.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of male-owned businesses that profit off
very much
women's
and particularly in my subcategory, there are male-owned businesses, which I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but again, I think, lived experience is.
Yeah, we need that representation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Especially when we're fighting so much for equality, just generally across the board in an inherently female category.
Yeah,
I feel like this is the space.
We need that voice.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
And I'm really happy to be it.
Yes,
I'm so happy
to
be it.
You are. It's so great. It's so great having you in that space.
Yeah, but we don't just put out stuff. You know, people often ask us, do you make period undies? And funnily enough, I have developed period undies and they're there, they're ready to go. But there are lots of period undies out there and I don't just want to make more stuff. Our community is telling us that they don't really need those. They don't really, you know, want those.
So what are you going to do? Are you trying to perfect it or what's the goal there?
I think we have made a really great product. I won't say too much, but look, it's tricky. Australia is a small market. It's really difficult to get things ranged, particularly as a small player. I'm probably the smallest player. Again, the market's dominated by multinationals in this space. So it is really difficult to get products ranged. But I'm really leaning into where there are gaps and where there are spaces where no one is making products that I truly believe are really needed.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I experienced that firsthand when I had my second baby. You had just released your postpartum pad. And I was so excited to give birth because I wanted to use this pad.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
It was genius. It is so genius.
So that was lived experience, not my own.
Yeah.
But that actually came off one of my best friends telling me her birth story.
Yeah.
About how she was given ice fingers in hospital that were very stiff and very painful to wear.
Oh, they're awful.
Yeah.
Like
so for
those hospipals fill up condoms with crushed ice.
Literally. Yeah, exactly right. So I learned about all this. Yeah.
There's like this, I don't know if recipe is even the right word for it, but when I had my first baby, your pads didn't exist and there was this thing called padsicles.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is like pads normal pads and then you put aloe vera gel on them and then put them in the freezer and they were awful. Yeah. I was like, this
literally
was a total waste of time.
Yeah.
But yours have a sleeve and a gel ice pack and they're obviously postpartum pads as well.
Exactly.
I just thought so genius. Yeah. So I love that, you listen to the lived experience, but talk me through your product innovation process and what other innovations you've got on the horizon.
Yeah. Like I've got reams of them, but again, it's just like, it's having the resources and then getting the ranging is tricky.
Yes.
But again, it's like it's listening is first and foremost. You know, always listening and learning is the biggest one.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much to spark an idea for me.
Love it. So how do you decide then which ideas you are going to execute on and which ones you'll shelve?
Look, I think we have to sort of balance the idea with commercial viability.
Yeah.
Because again, we do really need to think about whether we can get a product ranged or not. When we say ranged, whether we can get it sold into a major retailer because we do have quite large minimum quantity orders with suppliers. That's just the reality of business. I couldn't afford to hold stock. You know, and either just, sell it online or whatever. It wouldn't be viable, unfortunately, which is really heartbreaking. But so, there's lots of ideas, but unfortunately not enough channels necessarily to push them or to be able to, sell them or whatever. So we do have to balance that and think about that. And so that sometimes comes into the equation. But, if I have an idea, like, you can bet that I'm pitching it.
Yeah.
Like
and
I'll be
pitching
it out there. Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, research really, initially for me, research is speaking to people and doing deep dives, for the latest product that we're just about to launch imminently that's kind of already been, it's been given to our community because they've essentially helped shape it. Yeah. It's a pad for endometriosis, which I believe is Australia's first.
Amazing. Yeah. I've got endometriosis and when you told me about it, I was like, stop.
Yeah.
Like it's just also feeling seen by a brand. That's such a big part of product innovation.
Yeah.
Feeling seen.
I feel like particularly as brands this is where our responsibility lies.
Yeah.
It's not just to put out stuff that we want to put out. It's to actually deliver products that are needed and that people want. Also beyond want that are needed.
Yeah,
because there are just wants and that's okay.
Well, I didn't even know that I wanted this product
that's
until
right.
you told
that's
me
what
about
I mean.
I was like, I do want and need this.
So I think a want is one thing and that's okay totally, but then there are also needs. And this was a space that I learned needs were not being met, absolutely not being met. And there were so many makeshift solutions being used. But I think it was the not being seen
totally
that was probably the most difficult thing for a lot of women and people living with endometriosis, particularly experiencing heavy bleeding. And that's what this product is for.
Yeah.
And so we created one. And it actually really stemmed from us learning how many people were using our postpartum pad
for
endometriosis or adenomyosis or other pelvic conditions that were associated with heavy bleeding. And so we're like, oh, hang on a minute. Wait a second. This has to be deep. It's got to be deeper than this. And so we really started deep diving. And we're like, that's cool, but this product is for postpartum.
Yeah.
And a lot of women living with endo have issues with fertility. Yeah. And that can be really triggering, having to use a product for postpartum.
True. Yeah.
So we're like, no, they need a product specifically for them. And it's literally called the Endo Pad.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Just keep it simple. It is what it is.
And it's for you.
Yes.
You know?
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And you really just went where the data was telling you to go, which again tracks back to that lived experience.
Yeah, all based off lived experience. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so sorry to
amazing.
answer the question in like a really roundabout way.
No.
That's how like NPD comes about. It's just it's listening. So whether they're my pain points, friends' pain points, our community's pain points.
Yes. Love it.
And then we just dive deeper.
Yeah, I love that.
Because it's like if realistically, if one person is having this problem,
others are. Well, as soon as, again, talking about it with you, I'm like, yep, I've had that experience. I've had that experience. And then you think about also how insufficient the like night pads or postpartum pads are.
They're not made for that.
They're not. We're just kind of getting by with what we've got and didn't even think, oh, there could be another solution here. Yeah. And again, you're making me excited to get my next period.
Oh, God, I love that. Which, like, whoever says that? No one.
I know. It's funny. I want to chat about, again, kind of coming back to conversations that were once considered taboo and how you're leading and changing those conversations. I think we probably grew up in a very similar time.
Yeah.
And it was the days of like in school, the boys would be separated from the girls in class so that the girls could be spoken to about, you're going to get your period one day, la-di-da.
And as if they didn't know what we were doing. So silly. Like they got to go out and play like football.
Yeah, they got to play footy
we got
while
the period
we got told we're going to, and you know, like in some cases, depending on what age we were having that discussion, some girls already had their period.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the boys would joke about it in the schoolyard. So I think we've come a long way. I don't think that happens anymore. There's been a lot of change around education, making sure that boys and men are part of that conversation too. Being in that industry, do you think that change has been fast or slow?
Both in different ways. I mean, I have seen progress, definitely. I mean, look at our TikTok and I'm like, gosh, there's 1.4 million people that have just found us who are willing to have that conversation. And I hope that those people are then having those conversations outside of that platform. And to me, that's progress.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. I speak in schools now and I've spoken to boys as well.
Right.
I
love hearing that.
Yeah, I've spoken at boys' schools, which is great.
That.
So I think that's progress. That's progressive. I heard a story last week actually. I was speaking at an International Women's Day event and a mum came up to me and she's like, she's like, this is crazy serendipity that I'm meeting you today because today at my son's school, they literally, I think they were year 7 boys at a boys' school and they had to take in a period product for International Women's Day because they were going to donate products to a women's charity for period poverty.
Wow.
And they were learning about period poverty in year 7.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
said that that's progress.
That's
amazing.
Progress.
So I do definitely think that there has been progress, but there are still conversations to be had.
Totally.
There is still a lot of young girls who are embarrassed to talk about periods, their intimate health. They're scared to talk to their mums, which is why they come to us on TikTok. They're like, this is happening. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I don't want to tell my mum. And so I think we still have work to do.
Yeah.
Oh, obviously, we have young boys even who come on the platform and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's gross." And I'm like,
grow up.
Well, bro, you got a mom, you got a sister, you like this, know. But look, that comes with maturity.
Yeah.
And, it's a tricky one, and I think we're always going to have that because kids are going to be kids too, right?
Yeah.
It's never going to be perfect.
There's that, but there's also the competing culture that we've got, with social media and the manosphere and all of that stuff.
There's cultural sensitivities, which I think we always have to be mindful of. But then, I guess then when you talk about adults, I mean, let's talk about adults and, this happening in the workplace, right? I think we can definitely do better in the workplace.
Agreed.
Menstrual equity. I think everyone should have clean, easy access to period care.
Yeah.
So even from a workplace perspective, I think making products available for staff in the bathrooms, like women shouldn't have to feel shame doing the tampon up the sleeve type thing.
Yeah.
Like products should just be freely available. Menstrual leave should be a thing.
Yes.
Let's go there.
Let's go there, please.
But
because I've done a lot of work in that
I know
space.
you have. That's why I'm like, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
I still think there are conversations to be had, but I think every conversation is an opportunity for change.
Yes. And I think adults are, as you just touched on, the best place to have those conversations and employers especially.
Yes.
Because even as a small business, you've got control over your small business where you can make a change, whether you're a man or a woman.
Exactly.
And
everyone can make a change.
Myself, I'm a 40-year-old woman. I give zero fucks. Like I'm so happy to talk about bleeding and periods and endometriosis and all of that.
Yeah.
To show the younger generation that it's okay.
It's that. It's that it's okay. And I'm not saying that we have to, shout about it and be crass about it and be shocking about it for the sake of being shocking, but it just is.
Yeah.
It just is. It's a part of life.
It's a part of life. It's
normal.
So natural.
And even when we talk about it on socials, we call body parts what they are. We don't talk about it in hushed tones. We don't whisper. We don't joke about it.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Well, that's really important.
It is, and it's really important for younger kids.
It is.
To understand what body parts are and to know what things are called, and it's kind of top down, but then it's also bottom up as well.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think schools and daycares are doing a really good job of that as well.
Yeah. There's progress
it'll
there for
get
sure.
better.
It will.
Over time.
I do think it is going to take like generations. Like I've definitely I'm seeing it in my lifetime kind of thing, but I'm seeing it now in my my younger niece who's like Gen Alpha, and I'm starting to see that she's kind of like, oh, what? Like, why is this even a problem? Like, what?
Exactly.
Like, that's just normal. What do you mean?
That would be an issue, which is amazing.
As a millennial, we were not talking about it. We were hiding it. It was gross.
Definitely.
It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Whereas they're just like, oh, that happens to everyone.
What?
Like, what?
Yeah,
absolutely. Which is, honestly, it's incredible.
It is
music
so
to my
good.
ears. And they call each other out. If anyone's saying it's gross, they will call each other out.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's great.
That's great to hear because my kids are still little. They're not in school yet. So I don't know yet what the school playground is like when it comes to that sort of thing. But I think, like on the topic of menstrual leave, I would love to see the next generation that's totally normal in the workplace and that generation thinks, what do you mean you didn't have menstrual leave?
Exactly.
Like
that's
weird.
how it should be. Exactly.
Yeah. So we need to be having these conversations now for that to become a reality.
Right. Yeah.
A couple of months ago, you made the decision to close down your e-commerce store, and you did touch on earlier, the pressure of having so much stock to sell. But talk to me a bit about what was behind that decision.
Oh, such a great decision.
Okay, amazing.
It was a great decision, yeah. And look, it was a couple of things. So we've run our e-com for almost forever, almost the entire time we've been in business.
Yeah.
And look, essentially, and I'm sure that a lot of business are facing this issue at the moment. We're seeing it now with increasing fuel prices, in particular postage. Postage is just going through the roof. Our product is quite arguably, appreciating that it's still an expensive product for a lot of people, but arguably it's a cheap product in terms of it being like, we're talking a few dollars.
Yeah.
In comparison to the cost of postage, which can be double.
Yeah, totally.
So we can fund some of that postage for our customers, but we can't fund it all. There's just not enough margin in the product.
Wow.
This is actually a really low margin product.
Wow.
If anyone's looking to get into this category, abort mission. Like, do not. I don't advise it. So there's really not enough margin to play with. And so it makes it difficult. We don't want to be passing on these increasing costs to the consumer. That obviously, postage costs coupled with just running and managing an online store, costs associated with, literally just running Shopify and like all the back end stuff, running the warehouse, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Picking, packing, packaging, all of that stuff. It just essentially became too expensive to run it for very, very, very little return. Yeah. We refuse to increase the prices. In fact, we have actually decreased our prices at retail. We are now the cheapest organic offer every day. So that's when not on promotion, and that was a deliberate decision. Yeah. Because I believe that you shouldn't have to pay more for a conscious product. Yeah, I love that. But that meant that it just became really difficult to maintain e-com with external prices, like external factors and prices increasing. It meant that we just couldn't maintain that low pricing structure. So essentially we just decided to turn off our really it's just the shopping function. Our website is still fully operational. It's still a great resource.
It's such a great resource.
Yeah, so we still run our blog. We work with a heap of medical experts and professionals to provide a lot of intimate health and period education, which we will still maintain. And actually as part of the Endo Pad launch, we are launching an Endo Hub as well, which will be just a free resource for endometriosis and period education. So that will live there as well. But for the moment, you just won't be able to shop there. And it's simply just, it's an accessibility thing. We just want people to have easy and, accessible product. And really when people can get well-priced product at the supermarket and the pharmacy, it's not worth them buying online and having to pay exorbitant shipping. Yeah. It's honestly like that full transparency, that's why. Yeah.
Fair enough. That makes so much sense, and you're passing the benefit on to the consumer that way too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that's just so good. It's always for the end benefit of the consumer.
Who wants to pay like $10 to get a $5 pack of tampons shipped? It's crazy.
Go to Chemist Warehouse.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. And your website is so amazing. I went on to research for this episode, and I think I was on there for like half an hour in the end.
Amazing, thank you.
I was like reading
I'll have
and
to
going
check the
down
stats.
the
I'll be like,
hole.
what's going on here?
Marianne was on here for half an hour.
I mean, it doesn't say it's not to say that the online store won't be back. I think if we could come up with a better way to
fair enough,
to provide that offer to people. And some people were sad about it. They're like, what happened to the e-store? It is obviously incredibly convenient. Yeah. But Australia is just not a market at the moment where we can provide accessible shipping. Yeah. It's honestly, the prices are crazy.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Totally.
And it's only going up.
It is, absolutely. And we kind of did it at a good time because now it's even worse.
Yeah. I mean, we did this a few months ago when things were on the up already, but now it's just getting worse.
Yeah. And it will get worse. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. My final question for you is
already.
I know we've gone over time. Would you believe?
Yeah, I'm not shocked at all. I'm not surprised. I can talk underwater. I'm not shocked.
What's one piece of advice you've got for someone who's got a bold idea?
Oh gosh, I love a good bold idea.
Yeah. Same. Can you tell?
Yeah, not at all. I would say, you know what? I would say start before you even feel like you're fully ready. And only because like just leaning into what we were talking about earlier, sometimes we can procrastinate a bit because we think of a million reasons why you shouldn't give it a go. But perhaps if you think to yourself, well, what have I got to lose? And if those stakes aren't crazy high, just start. You don't have to have the perfect plan. I feel like this is sometimes what stalls people. Is this belief that they have to have it all figured out from the get-go. And that's just not reality because you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
No.
Business is going to throw so many curveballs at you as you go through the process. You're going to learn so much along the way. that plan is going to change irrespective. So do not burn your time, energy, resources, money, whatever. Just start.
Yeah.
Even in a small way. Just start. And that also then kind of gives you the motivation to keep going. I think as you see that, you know, it's exciting and you're capable and you can do it. Yeah. So I would say just start.
I love that. Yeah. I think a lot of people do wait for perfect and perfect never comes.
No.
But if you have waited for perfect, like some people that get it all or they think they've got it all right and it's perfect and then they go out to market and it's like, oh, okay, it's not exploding or whatever. You know, so why did you wait for perfect? You could have actually just gone out
and
there.
And it really does. I mean this with all the love. But I've spoken to quite a few business owners and even quite recently someone was telling me they started a business and they're like, I thought I would just build it and I would start posting and they would just come.
And they would come.
Did. And I'm like, yeah, no, they don't do that.
No.
Because you do. You feel like you've kept it under wraps this whole time and then you're going to launch and then suddenly it's like, oh my gosh, the world knows now.
Yeah.
Here they come.
Like,
and it's really disheartening when they don't.
Yeah.
But if we think about how we interact with social media, the internet, like all of these mediums that we literally interact with in our lives, there's so much noise.
So much.
There's
and
so much noise.
There's so many businesses.
Oh my
so
gosh.
easy to start a business now. So there's so much out there.
Yeah.
You just have to, as you said, you just have to start.
Just start.
And iterate as you go.
And your customers will tell you what sticks.
100%.
They will tell you what sticks. And if something doesn't stick, just change it.
Change it.
I feel like nothing's like truly broken anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like we live in an age now where you really can just fix things. You
can diagnose the problem and
iterate. Nothing's fixed. Nothing's forever.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's really great advice.
Thanks.
And I mean, I was in awe of you before this conversation, but now I can just see how much of a thought leader you are in this category.
So kind.
And I can see why you've had so much success. So thank you so much for joining me.
Really lovely. I appreciate that.
Of course.
I loved it.
Thank you.
Should we do it again?
Yeah, let's do it again.
Yeah,
Part 2.
Love it. I'm down.
Thanks, Mia.
Thank you for having me.
If you loved what you heard, make sure you follow the podcast so you never miss an episode. Or even better, leave us a review. And if you have a bold idea of your own, I'd love to hear from you. Check out the show notes to get in touch.